Welcome to the Bleaves Crypto Show, where we talk about cryptocurrency and what's going on in this crazy, crazy world that we do call digital assets. And we're going to break down exactly what's happening. We got news. We've got very interesting news. If you know anything about me, you know there are certain projects that I am passionate about. So I'm going to give you all of the details. Also, I'm going to introduce you guys to some changes that we're going to be making and a new show that we're going to have. Now, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but I'm going to give you an idea, because if I showed you the whole thing, YouTube would be like, you can't say that. It was just a test. So I'm going to encourage you that if you like this channel and you like what I do and you appreciate me, then I'm going to encourage you to go check this out on X. I'm going to show you just the detail. I'm going to show you a little bit about it, just a little bit. And then from there, you can decide whether or not you want that to be the way we do this going forward. But I thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. As you know, cryptocurrency is a wild, wild, wild place. So we're going to talk about all of this. We're going to figure it all out. We're going to have a good time. I think we're going to have a good time. Are we going to have a good time? We're having a good time. We're having a good time. It's going to be a good time. You guys, make sure you hit that like button. The one thing that you can do to help me out, the most important thing that you can do, hit the like button. Leave a comment. Engage. By the way, if you want to talk about your own cryptocurrencies or something like that, you do that with Super Chat. So now that that's out of the way, let's get into the intro. Let's get into it. And then move on.
It's your boy Bleaves. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
All right, guys, so here we are once again talking about this crazy crypto world. And look, I don't know that this is validation for me, okay? I'm not sure that this is validation for me, but it sure feels like it, because one of the things that I told you guys from the beginning, that the evils of the Terra Luna Classic collapse were caused by jump crypto trading, Kanav Korea, and that all of this washed out. And look, Do Kwon is in prison. I do think, by the way, that the President of the United States is going to pardon him very, very soon. However, he will still face legal action in South Korea, where his extradition would go to. So I think that that's the more appropriate venue and the more appropriate place for it. So that's not the reason that we're talking about it. The reason that we're talking about it is because it's actually, this is the hard part for me. Like, this is crazy and fantastic for me to actually see. All right. And that is that there's validation. Now, remember, Jump Crypto Trading has already paid $700 million in fine. But guess what? Because of what happened, they're not done yet. Somebody is coming for Jump. So I love that. I love that. Let's get into chat real quick here. Good morning to Lupin69. Good morning to Know 'em Saying. Know 'em Saying? You know what I'm saying? Jay Manuel, good morning. Roy G, good morning. George Lopez Garcia, good morning. Sebas, good morning. Good morning to everybody. If you haven't already, wish a good morning in the chat. Guys, let's keep the chat going. Let's keep it active. Let's figure out what's going on in this crazy crypto world. And start with this right here. First of all, this is my video. I'm going to show it to you. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Nightly News. This is a new show where we take 5 major crypto news events of the day and see what's happening so that you know what's going on in the crypto world. My name is Bleaves, and I'm your host for this show. So please do me a favor, hitting that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that bell to be notified of future content. And we're going to kick off tonight with these, our top 5 stories. All right, guys, number 1 story of the day is crypto hacks. North Korean hackers have now stolen over $2 billion in Ethereum and Solana over the course of the last year, meaning that the next nuclear test from North Korea is brought to you by Solana. The U.S. Senate has now delayed the Clarity Act again. All right, so that's as far as I can go with that because I said some things that YouTube would not like. So if you want to go watch the rest of it is a little bit more, let's call it R-rated. So if you want to go check that out, I just put a link into the chat right now. You can go watch that. It's only 3 minutes long, just a little bit of information. And I got confirmation. I was asking some people what they thought. Zigzag liked it. Jesus Martinez, if you don't know, that's Classy Crypto. Crypto Jam says this is great. Love the content and delivery. I'd support this. Durr said definitely your niche. You should lean into it. And then Canada says maybe believes pass this on to Pablo Crow. Let's get Pablo on board. By the way, Pablo is coming onto the channel very soon. Also coming onto the channel, I'm going to be branching out a little bit. Steve Hinnock from Hinnock Crypto is coming onto the channel. Pablo Crow is coming onto the channel. We've got a few different people that are going to pop in over the next. Cassius Cuvée, if you guys don't know, he's the guy that makes music for. He's a music crypto guy. Made Ben's intro song. Made J Chain's intro song. He's been kind of around the space for a while. So we're going to do some collaborations, work with these guys, and see what comes about. Now, let's get into the real news of the day. We're going to drop that right there and right here. Boom. Just like clockwork. Terraform Labs lawsuit. Jump Trading faces a $4 billion case over market manipulation. Now, if you don't remember or understand exactly what's going on, Terraform Labs obviously collapsed back in May of 2022. Terra blockchain, UST, all of that, everything collapsed. Luna losing billions of market value. Now, did people lose $120 billion? No, of course they didn't. Liquidity is a lot different, but they did lose a lot of money. Now, one of the reasons and one of the perpetrators behind this, just for full disclosure, here's the way that it played out. Do Kwon approached in May of 2021. The reason that Do Kwon is in prison is because in May of 2021, there was a depeg of Terra, and he said that the algorithm fixed itself, and that was not true. What had happened was Kanav Korea called Do Kwon. Kanav Korea was the head of Jump Crypto Trading. Jump Trading is located in Chicago. Kanav Korea, by the way, was basically a mop boy at that location. Okay, he was kind of an intern, and they turned him into the CEO or the vice president of crypto because he knew crypto. So here's what happened. He calls him up, told him that it depegged, that Terra had depegged, and then offered to start helping. And they made an agreement in which they helped to repeg Terra. But Do Kwon, instead of saying, hey, we've got an investor who's stepped in, Do Kwon decided to mislead people and say that the algorithm worked and did it. So what then happened was 1 year later, Kanav Korea then approached Do Kwon, told Do Kwon, hey, how about we sell you some Bitcoin in order for you to stabilize? In the meantime, Do Kwon, by the way, Do Kwon said yes. Then, in the meantime, Kanav Korea opened millions upon millions upon millions of dollars in shorts against Terra, UST. Do Kwon then pulled the liquidity from UST, or pulled some liquidity, a massive amount of liquidity, in order to buy a whole bunch of Bitcoin. Okay, that's what happened. Now, when that happened, that would initially be fine if nobody sold. Okay, let's understand how this would happen. If nobody sold and you just pulled a bunch of liquidity for a short period of time before putting it back in as a Bitcoin backup, then you would be fine. All right, but here's what happened. After running the shorts, after setting up the shorts, as soon as the liquidity was pulled, Kanav Korea and Jump Crypto Trading conspired to sell off the maximum amount of Terra. And there's only a certain amount of Terra that you can sell for a certain period of time. Now remember, here's the other part. Bitcoin transactions, especially large transactions like that, they take a little while, 15, 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes sometimes for a big transaction like that to go through on the Bitcoin blockchain. And that's the way that they were doing it. So in the meantime, Jump Crypto Trading started dumping on the market, and they were dumping the Terra, which caused a depeg. Now, to understand what happens, in order to protect the depeg, when it comes down to say 99 cents, Luna Classic gets minted, and then Luna Classic gets sold, and then the money made from Terra Luna Classic goes back into USTC to maintain the peg, okay? But they continued to sell in microtransactions the absolute maximum amount that you could sell. So then it went to 98 cents, and Luna was forced to print more Luna tokens and sell them on the open market. Then it went down to 97 because they had brutalized this. They had taken and they are selling the maximum amount that you can possibly sell, and they are just running it and running it and running it. And meantime, Do Kwon is waiting for a transaction for Bitcoin to complete. That's what happened. And then by that point, price is down to 95 cents, price is down to 90 cents. And now Luna has to print more and more and more and more and more. And remember, Luna's trading at $119 at that time. Well, people start to see that happening and they're like, why is my Luna going down? And hey, wait a minute, we only had 340 million supply. Why do we have 5 billion supply all of a sudden? Okay, because once you've had 10x in your volume, then your 10x $119 suddenly becomes $19 or becomes $12. So that's what happened in very quick succession, and that caused an absolute collapse of the system. And now there's so many Luna that you just can't pull them back because people are buying them on the market. So now you've got traders stepping in, trying to protect their own bags and their own investments while they create what's called now a death spiral. And that death spiral, by the way, means Luna Classic. In order to protect Luna Classic, what do? You mint UST. And what do you do with USTC? You sell USTC. And then what happens there? You use that to buy Luna Classic and burn Luna Classic. And what it created was called the death spiral. Okay. Now, Jump Crypto, because of this, is now being called to task over it. Now, so far, they've paid $700 million in penalties for this manipulation to begin with. Okay. Now, according to a Bloomberg report, Todd Snyder, the administrator appointed by the court to oversee the Terraform Labs bankruptcy case, has sued Jump Trading. Snyder is seeking $4 billion in damage. Its co-founder William DeSoma and ex-executive Kanav Korea. Notably, the administrator sees that this Terraform Labs lawsuit as a necessary step to hold Jump Trading accountable for illegal conduct that directly caused the largest crypto collapse in history. It is noteworthy that the move comes following Terraform Labs founder Do Kwon prison sentence. Snyder claims that Jump Trading had a secret engagement before the collapse. According to his complaint, the platform was engaged in market manipulation supporting the peg. This resulted in substantial illicit profits for Jump, as per a previous SEC filing. However, a Jump spokesperson called this $4 billion lawsuit a desperate attempt to put the blame on the platform, shifting the focus from Terraform and its imprisoned CEO Do Kwon. They added that the team would stand firm together fighting against the lawsuit. Now, just to give you guys some full clarity and full disclosure about exactly what happened, and good morning, Amit. To give you some full clarity about how this broke down and why this happened the way that it did, Kanav Korea basically disappeared. The moment that all of this started to unwind and the U.S. courts started to step in, Kanav Korea has resigned effective immediately from Jump Crypto Trading. And he has, by the way, he's done, I want to say, over the course of the last, this has been a year and a half now since he resigned, okay? But in the course of the last year and a half, Kanav Korea, he's made like 3 posts. He's made like, look right here. He's not posting anywhere. You will see every once in a while, right here, on November 6th, he kind of redoes something here. And then in September, same thing. But he is staying far away from everything. And look, all these reposts are from 2023 and stuff like that. Like, he doesn't make any posts. He's only had 3 engagements in the last year and a half. And by the way, is that a symbol of guilt? Is that an admission? I'm sorry. Is that an admission of guilt? No, it's not an admission of guilt. Okay. But where there's smoke, there is fire. So I am so happy to see that finally Kanav Korea, who to me is the villain of this entire process. And by the way, I'm not saying that to deflect from what Do Kwon did. Do Kwon lied to investors. I'm not changing that. What I'm saying is, this is the true villain of this story. This is the guy who used his capital, who used the money that his firm had, who used the control that they had in order to manipulate the market to their advantage. He is the villain in this. Do Kwon was just trying to protect his baby, if you will, his creation. He was trying to make sure that everybody understood everything would be fine. Now, I just got a report here from Roy G that said Fias just ripped up. Guys, look, I told you, and I can't tell you every day. And by the way, just for full disclosure, it is going to be early January, but Tom Anderson, the creator of Dev and the developer of the Fias protocol, is going to come onto the channel after he makes an announcement, which is going to be on January 1st, about Fias. I have been telling any and every one of you who will listen for the last few days that, my God, guys, you've got to get yourself just a tiny bag of Fias, because when it comes down to the level that it's down at right now, there will be an explosive move. And I think, in my opinion, that it would be an easy 50% gain. I'm not even saying a 200%, 100%, anything. I just think it's easy money coming down from there. And I'm also telling you, don't risk a whole lot of money. Don't throw a bunch of money at it, because the sharks will go after you if you do. But if you invest wisely, then this thing is going to rip. So we're going to look at that in just a moment, and we'll see what the price is. But shout out to Roy and Sebas. It looks like it maybe, they might have made a few bucks off of it. Now, in the meantime, Terra Casino.io for all your risk-based gaming. The Bears play tomorrow night. For those of you that know, I mean, look, I do a Bears podcast. Luther Burden, Roma Dunze, they're both going to be out. Micah Parsons for the Green Bay Packers is going to be out. We still have no update on DeAndre Swift or Cole Kmet. We don't know. They are questionable on whether they will play or not. But the Chicago Bears team is a plug-and-play offense. I suggest that you put a few bucks on Chicago Bears, but I can't tell you what to do. If you want to bet on the Green Bay Packers had a devil of a time winning. They did win in Lambeau Field 2 weeks ago. But I suspect that it's going to be a different result in Chicago at Soldier Field, and especially considering that Caleb Williams has been beating himself up mentally for 2 weeks now over the missed opportunities that he had in that game. And here's the reason that we call Caleb Williams Iceman 18 here in Chicago. The reason for that is because when he recognizes those problems and he sees those problems, he corrects. He course corrects. This kid is, look, I don't like his accuracy, but this kid is great at football. And I think that means that we're going to see a massive run here from the Chicago Bears going into the playoffs. And by the way, Colin Cowherd just issued a statement last night on his show, the Cowherd Report or whatever it is. Yellow Belly Coward, or, I don't know what his show's called. I don't watch the show, but he did issue a statement that says, tell me what's wrong with the Chicago Bears. The offense is lighting it up. They have an explosive run game. They have a dominant offensive line, and their defense creates an enormous amount of turnovers. That is the recipe for a deep run in January. That's the recipe for a team that's ready to compete. And the Bears are ready to compete. Are they a great team? Are they a Super Bowl level? Could they win the Super Bowl? I mean, anybody can win the Super Bowl if you make the playoffs, I suppose. I don't think that they are a Super Bowl caliber team, but they're as good as any Super Bowl team that's out there right now. They've already beaten the last season NFL Super Bowl champion, the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, and it's a different year, but basically the same team. So, there's a real possibility that the Chicago Bears are going to be looking strong going into the playoffs. And when you get there, anything can happen. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying that it could happen. Also, Terraport, if you want to buy any meme coins or utility coins, I'm going to say it one more time, 5 different coins that I think you should own in the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem. By the way, there is some news. Forex thing is going to happen. It looks like it's going to happen. Dutch Lunk, if you know anything about Terra Luna Classic, you've been watching me for any time, the Dutch Lunk has voted yes for the Forex trading. That means that people are going to be paying attention to the Terra Luna Classic blockchain, and we're going to get foreign currency trading on Terra Luna Classic. That is massive. If you remember, we were talking for a while about Definity. Definity, they did $600 million in a month in Forex trading just recently, and they continue to have these massive days and massive weeks and massive months. It's not. By the way, it doesn't really affect their price so far, but they are making massive amounts of capital right now as a company in Definity. So something like that coming to Terra Luna Classic is going to be amazing. Also, have to get rid of the burn tax and work on the market module, creating the burns and the initiatives going forward, and Binance continuing to do their burns, etc., etc. Like, we got a whole bunch of stuff that's happening right now. I think a revival of Terra Luna Classic now looks as realistic as it ever has. So the 5 ones are Terra, Terra, Selenium, Juris, Garuda X, and Weso World. You should get at least a little bit of each one of those going forward. And by the way, if you didn't write that down, if you forgot that, then just replay this video and you should have some of those. Now, let's get into what happened over here with Fias. Where is Fias right now? There it is, guys. Fias is up 30%. Fias is up 30%, and I gave you this buy signal for 3 days now. I've been telling you here at 1.1 cents that there was going to be a big move, and it was going to probably come up at least to this green line. Guess what? It did exactly what I told you it was going to do. Guys, don't doubt me. Don't doubt me, homie. Don't doubt me. Anyway, look, and by the way, sometimes you just get right because it's obvious. So, you know, I didn't do anything special. I just recognize that every time it does this move right here, it tends to rip pretty hard. If we just consider that, and by the way, look at, this is the bottom, this is the top, right? Then over here, we had a bottom to top. It was only about half of that. Over here, it was about 3/4 of that. Over here, it was all of that one more time. So over here, I suspect that we're going to see a move from 1 to 2. From 1 cent to 2 cent. Like, that's the way that it looks right now. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen, just means that it looks like it. And when it looks like it, it likes to run. Like, this thing likes to, it likes to have these big moves. I think that means somebody is trading over there and somebody knows what's up. So again, scalp your money when you can get your money, because the general trend of Fias is not to the upside. General trend is to the downside, but it has massive spikes, and that is an opportunity for you to make a few bucks off of that trade. So good luck. Anyway, let's get into the news right now. Crypto market braces for volatility as Bitcoin Ethereum option expiry collides with a 7.1 trillion triple witching. And what does that mean? According to crypto derivative exchange Demaree, more than 30,000 Bitcoin options to notional value of 2.6 billion expire today. Open interest volume has dried up as traders adjust positions with a decline in implied volatility and upcoming holidays, with a put-call ratio of 0.75. The max pain price is at 88,000, and the probability of expiring above 88K price is significantly lower. As per the data, traders expect the Bitcoin price to maintain between 85 and 88 until the massive December 26 options expiry. Bitcoin open interest is concentrated around 88K with slightly heavier put positioning, pointing to a relatively contained expiry unless spot breaks range. Meanwhile, 160K of Ethereum options with a notional value of almost 500 million are set to expire. The put call ratio is 1.02, indicating bearish sentiment among traders amid sudden price swings. The max pain point is 3,100 and the target dropping to 2,850 in the coming days. Demaree claims ETH positioning is more distributed across strike prices with notable upside interest above 3,400. Now, what do they mean by that? If you come over to the Ethereum chart and look at it right now, remember what I gave you over here? It's actually, well, you know, I gave you 35, but this is actually the spot right there is what we're talking about right now. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to touch those data points as much as possible on that last little swing right there. And we're trying to nab all of these little spots here. Look at this right there. So you can see here that 3,400 has been a huge area. And what do I tell you? If you get, and this is what we're always looking for, okay? When we're looking for the spikes in prices, what I tell you is don't buy, if you're already in this move, you don't buy here. What you do is you buy on the bounce. right? So the bounce area is 3,400. That's where people become investors. So right here at 3,400, that leads to a spike all the way up to an all-time high. That is exactly what's going on, and that's what people are watching for right now. So if we get a spike up above, then that's going to be a great opportunity. Now, I gave you this range over here at 3,100 for the same purpose. So if we can get just kind of right there, if we can get a move up above this, and then we can get a back test down here at around 3,100, that's your entry position, and then bang, you get a nice little run off of Ethereum. That's what we're looking to see happen right now, and that's what they're explaining to you right now. So according to Goldman Sachs, markets expect sharp moves amid the largest ever 7.1 trillion triple watching. Triple watching is a quarterly event where stock options, and index futures expire simultaneously, often causing high volatility. The last three triple witching events, Bitcoin and the broader crypto market saw massive pullbacks afterwards. So let's see what happens. We could be looking at some more downward pressure. Those 75,000 bears they might end up right. You never know. Now, moving on. Trump is going to interview BlackRock's Rick Reeder as the next Fed chair shortlist narrows to 4. Now, remember, we had Kevin Hassett, Kevin Warsh, Chris Waller, and now Rick Reeder are the 4 people. Fed Governor Michelle Bowman is no longer a candidate to replace Jerome Powell, according to reports. The BlackRock CIO is the only remaining candidate that Trump has yet to interview. As CoinGate reported, the U.S. president interviewed Waller earlier this week. An interview with senior administration officials described to CNBC as being strong as they discussed the labor market in depth. Now, what they're looking for is they're looking for somebody who's going to do what Donald Trump wants done. And what Donald Trump wants done is he wants massive rate cuts, and he wants to take charge, and he wants to turbocharge the U.S. economy. Now, in order to do that, he has to cut rates, because right now people are not borrowing and using their capital to grow their businesses because lending is too expensive. Now, if you're getting a 5% return, on your investment, and your interest rate is only 4.75% or 4.25%, that's not a lot of range right there for you to make a lot of money. But if it were 2%, you'd be talking about 3% on every $1 million that you have invested. That is worth it, okay? So again, if your returns are set above 5%, the rate coming down helps you tremendously, and it allows you to grow your business. And remember, this is not about you spending your money as a business. This is about you borrowing your money, borrowing against your money in order to use somebody else's money. That's the game that we play. I know it sounds a little bit shady, and I think it is, but that's the game that we play. So that's what he's looking for. So he's got 4 people. We've got Kevin Hassett, Kevin Warsh, Chris Waller, and Rick Reeder, who are the 4. And I guarantee you, all 4 of these guys are saying the same thing. We need massive rate cuts to stimulate this economy to make things go boom. And the tariffs right now, again, guys, here's what I want to say to you. And I want to be I want to be as specific as I can. We need massive rate cuts to pump markets. If we get massive rate cuts to pump markets, then the question is going to be inflation. And will inflation go up? And the reason that inflation is going up right now, tariffs, okay? Because if you look around at gas prices, if you look around at what's going on, it's not as bad. Like gas prices are $1.89. I think Mike the other day, Mike Volmer, sent a message. He saw $1.89 gas all the way down to $1.76, where I was until just a couple days ago. It was like $2.50. We are getting gas prices way down. When gas prices are way down, transportation costs go way down. I also saw buy 4 bags of Doritos, and they're $2.50 a bag, like 4 bags for $10. Guys, we haven't seen prices like that in a long time. Now, it is true that beef is still highly elevated and incredibly expensive, but egg prices are down. We're starting to see sales at the market. Price rollbacks come from those sales. So, and remember, there is that bullwhip effect that we've talked about before. If you don't remember it, the bullwhip effect is that, that up and down sort of narrative where, you get prices go up, then you get the prices coming down, but the prices coming down are just from sales. And then all of a sudden the price goes back up a little bit more because it was $4.99. Then you put it on sale for $3.99. But then when you take the sale off, now it's $5.49. It's a little bit higher. And that's been happening for a while in the market. Well, that seems to be ready to reverse. And as Trump actually makes deals with foreign nations and for these tariff agreements, then you really will start to see some changes in the dynamics of the way that our market is set. So two things are going to happen. You're going to get rate cuts for the bigs, and then you're going to get cuts at the pump. You're going to get cuts in the market for you and me, the normal people. So that's what's going on right now. But I mean, again, I don't support Donald Trump on very much, but I like this. Also, I'm not a fan of the jackbooted stormtrooper look from ICE and stuff like that, and I'm not a fan of overhanded moves. But these are people who aren't here for the, you come here, you're just not entitled to stay. I mean, you're just not. So, there are things that are happening that I'm in support of. Not everything, but enough that I think the economy, I think everything is moving in the right direction. By the way, Chicago, crime is down 19%. That's not nothing. It's not nothing. By the way, murders are up. You know what I mean? Murders are up, so it's not, look, it is what it is. You can't fix everything. And I have plenty of problems with things that happen, but I mean, ultimately, better is better, no matter how you look at it. It doesn't matter who's in charge. Better is better. So let's get back into it. Boom, 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 boom. Crypto traders on Polymarket have increased their bets on BlackRock's CIO Reader ahead of the interview with Trump. They show a 6.5% chance that he will nominate Reader as the next Fed chair. Meanwhile, Hassett has reclaimed his position as the favorite with a 56% chance. So we'll see who ends up being. It's a little early to tell, but Polymarket already taken the bets. And by the way, that means Coinbase in their prediction market. And again, if you go watch my video on X that I did, if you go watch my funny video, it's not going to be as crude and rude when we actually create this show, when it actually happens. It's not going to be as, I made some inappropriate jokes that only I can put on X. I cannot put them on YouTube. But it was just 5 different, I was just trying to have a little bit of fun. You know what I mean? Noam's saying, says, can we look at OG zero gravity? And yes, we can. We can absolutely look at it. Let's do zero gravity crypto. All right, OGAI. We're going to start right here before we go into the rest. All right. Did I have this right? All right, so is this right? Am I right here? Know what I'm saying? Is this it? Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Is it OG Labs? Or is it OGAI? Yeah, OGAI. The largest A1, that largest AIL1. I don't know that that's true, by the way. I don't know that that's true. Let's kind of break this down, because the number one AI, let's go see by market cap where it ranks. We're looking at BitTensor is still the king right there. But we are looking for OG. So it looks like it's a startup. All right, so there is okay, so it's not showing up through 18. All right, so let's take a second here and let's digest what's going on. Zero G AI, zero gravity, the largest AI, infinitely scalable, fully composable, and purpose-built to power the next generation of AI applications. Support OG on X. Here we go. It is OG Labs. Okay, so we are in the right place. Now, transactions on testnet, 650 million. Active accounts, 22 million. Testnet validators, 8,000. Infinitely scalable. Now, infinitely scalable is a really good sign, by the way, for any kind of crypto at this point. If it's infinitely scalable, then that really, and by the way, every crypto is infinitely scalable. They don't always advertise that way, but they are infinitely scalable. By the way, just in case you didn't know, Bitcoin is currently being scaled up so that it's more robust. So it is possible for all of them to do that. But the largest ecosystem of decentralized AI applications, full on-chain AI, seamless composability, modular DeFi AI operating system. Okay, so this is interesting. OG's modular L1 combines multiple specialized interconnected technologies built for real-world AI workloads at scale. Let's explore here real quick. Connect your wallet. This is the Aristotle mainnet. All right, and then Galileo is the test net. Okay, so let's go back over here. I don't want to connect wallets because I don't keep my wallets on here. Can't really do that. Let's talk about the things they have. Compute network, trustless AI inference, and compute secured by decentralized infrastructure and cryptographic verifiability. Storage, would like to know more about that. Storage, decentralized AI optimized storage with ultra low cost and verifiable permanence for structured and unstructured data. Infinitely scalable, high-speed data availability to support trustless, verifiable AI workloads. A decentralized hub for AI models, agents, and services, fueling an open and trustless AI economy. Ensure AI systems perform efficiently and responsibly to return to AI to ecosystem rewards. And dApps, open autonomous application that harness on-chain AI with fully composable and verifiable logic. Okay, so manager is Ed Roman. Nebula says this is Hack VC is a critical infrastructure to redefine the possibility. All right. They got a couple of partners leading off. Socrates AI is an ecosystem partner. Alibaba Cloud is a big deal, by the way. Eliza OS, Bagel, Carve is a big deal. And Block Demon is actually a big deal. And Aura is their AI Oracle. These are OG builders. And I like the OG, like 0G is zero gravity, but you can also call them OGs. So Derek Hines says crime is down because it's cold. It's for the year. Crime's down 19% for the year, but murders are up, which is kind of weird here. So I think everybody should give this one a shot. Like I would certainly go test this. Now, question is there a crypto available? So let's go look here. Alignment nodes, privacy is coming to OG, AI agents, trade OG, and all right, here we go. Trade OG and earn with Binance this Christmas. Learn more. All right, so that means that we've got. Let's go to OG. Now the question is, spot crypto. OG to Bitcoin. We're going to do OG to USD. Now this is fan token. So we're going to stop that. We're going to go to zero gravity. Yeah, there we go. All right. So let's try this one a little bit. We've got OG. Okay, so looks like it's there we go. Trading about 76 cents right now. And OG zero gravity. Looks like it's going to be 0G. That's an interesting thing. That's an interesting thing, by the way. 162 million market cap. Unlocked market cap is 181. The number of total supply is 1 billion. Max supply is infinite, and the circulating supply is 213. Now, I don't like that. That's 20% of the supply basically in circulation. I'm assuming rewards are going to be distributed over time. That's going to create some pressure on the price. I don't know what the unlock periods are. It's a little bit early for that. For me, anyway. But over the year, what we've seen is it started off during its launch, which appears to be back in September, with a price of $3, ran all the way up. By the way, I suspect there's some FUD happening on it right now because it's not pumping to the moon. And a lot of people bought in. Looks like on the initial offering at $3, they got a nice little run up to $6, and now the price has been dumped on. And what was the market cap over here? Market cap over here at the top was a little bit over 1.29 billion, and that was speculative. And by the way, that was AI revolution period. And now it's down to 150, 100. Okay, so for me, I think this is a buy. Here's the problem with it. I think the price is going to go down some more. And the reason I think the price is going to go down some more is because AI is not going crazy right now. So if we just consider that the litmus test for AI is Tau, Tau is on a serious dip right now. The other litmus test on it right now is ICP doing the same. And then when you throw in Fetch AI doing the same, then when you start to throw in Near Protocol doing the same, the AI narrative seems to be kind of pulling back a little bit. And when it pulls back like that, then that means that there's going to be more dips. And we haven't seen a reversal of trend. Let me just point out here that when you're looking at this on the daily, this is not OG, this is Near Protocol. You see a spike today, you see some price action right now, but you're not seeing an AI God candle, okay? An AI, you get these big ass candles that start to happen. You don't see that over here on BitTensor. You see a little bit of recovery, but we see these all the time. What you don't see is AI going crazy. You don't see AI going crazy. So this could be the start of a rip off of the dip. If I'm looking at BitTensor, I haven't seen it go back to the rally zone. That rally zone is up here at the $400 level. I do think the BitTensor is due for a rally back up to that level, but it could also go sideways for a while, and it could go sideways and up. I mean, there's any number of possibilities. We're reading tea leaves when we say that. So when we look around at all of these, then what we get is the sense here that AI right now is not in vogue. Here's the good news. The good news is for OG, OG's up more than the other ones today. So there is a, look, what I would say is if you're looking for an entry position for zero gravity, this is as good as any entry positions, but so was this one. And it's now lower than it was before. So at your own risk, okay? Also, when it does this, it comes down, it comes down, it comes down, then it gets a spike. Then it comes down, comes down, comes down, gets a spike. It's coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down. It's due for a spike. So what I would tell you is it would not be bad to throw $1,000 into it, catching it right here. Maybe you get $1,200 to $1,500 out of that, and then sell your initial, keep a small moon bag in there just to see what happens as it goes back to $1 billion, because that would be a good win for you. Okay, so again, be very, very careful when you're investing, especially right now. But also, again, that AI narrative, I'm not sure that AI has flipped the script in terms of investment narrative. I would look for, when's the next NVIDIA earning? NVIDIA earnings next day. The next NVIDIA earnings date is going to be February 25 of 2026. So here's what if I'm you, here's what I would do. Set yourself a buy order at around 65 cents. Just set a buy order at 65 cents because the market is still the market and it's still coming down. But we're going to get NVIDIA earnings, and NVIDIA earnings are going to be crazy good again. And people are going to be excited. And the FOMO run up about a month before should allow for you to get a nice little dip on this and then get an explosive move to the upside. That's what I would be looking for. So set a buy at 65 cents. Seems like a pretty good number. Could go lower to 50 cents or something like that. I'm not telling you. I mean, look at your own. Look at your own. But there is a possibility that you get this big reversal here. And, look, you're not going to get too much, I don't think. But if you just consider that this is the range right here, and you get a move down into 65 cents. Let's just say you get that move to 65. Let's refresh that right here. You got 70 the last time, right? But if you get a move to 65, then you look at where that line is right now. So it could look something like this. And here's the idea. It's going to come down, going to come down, going to come down, going to come down, going to come down over the next little while. Again, this might be the spot where you get a little bit of a spike up to, a buck or so. But again, 65 cents, you come down into 65, and now the reversal kicks in, and then boom, you get a nice little 2x back up to your trend line. So I throw that right there, and let's see if that doesn't play out. Let's just see if that doesn't play out. And by the way, if it did play out, I guess I didn't do this the right way, but because I didn't use the right time frame for it. But wait, let's get rid of that and that. All right, here's what I think is going to happen. I think you might get a little spike up here. Not going to go very far. Then you're going to get some more downward pressure. It's going to come out here. Then we're going to go into January. And then we're going to start getting that spike right there. Then we'll find out what it's made of at that point. But that could be an easy 2x for anybody. So that's what I think it looks like. And I'm just going to leave it there. Remind me later on, and we'll see whether or not that is the case or not. Zebek Network. Zebek's not at the bottom. Zebek is not at the bottom. It's giving no indication that it's ready to move back up. It's got a broadening wedge right here. It's trading right near the heart line. The market is not pricing in explosive moves right now. We're not seeing explosive moves on anything right now, narrative-based or otherwise. Even privacy coins that were ripping, Zcash not ripping anymore. You know, all the narratives have kind of died down. So the most likely scenario for Zebek is a move to the bottom of this range right here at 0.001, like a 50% drop from where it is right now. Doesn't mean that it won't spike back up here to 0.004, but if you're a gambler, I'd be setting a buy order at 0.001 for Zebek Network right now. That's where I would set a buy order, anticipating downward momentum and then a massive spike off of that. I think that could be an easy 4x. But what do I know? I'm just always right. Anyway, so we've got the Bitcoin price alarming pattern points to a dip to 80K as the options expire today. Now, the same people who do this shit right here are the same people who told you that the Bank of Japan was going to absolutely dump on the market. And who told you it's too obvious? If that was the case, it's already priced in. If that were the case, then the Bank of Japan would cause this massive dump. If everybody's reporting the news that everything in the world is about to go to shit because Bank of Japan raised their rate 25 basis point, okay? Remember the narrative, okay? And guys, I gotta be, these are nuances, okay? The craziest nuance is this. If they wanted the price to go down, here's what they would have said. Bank of Japan set to raise rates 25 basis points. Okay? That's what they would say. Bank of Japan set to raise rates 25 basis points. But that's not what they said. What they said was Bank of Japan set to spike prices to spike rates to all-time high, leading to crypto crash. Bank of Japan to have highest interest rates in history. Last time, everything in the markets dumped. All of those kind of doomsayer narratives are tricks. They're tricks. Do you know why? What they did, by the way, we're up $90 billion on the day right now. $90 billion since the Bank of Japan did what they said they were going to do. Okay. We're up 90 billion. Just let it sink in for just a second. How crazy that is. Okay. They trapped everybody. We read the signals. We got it right. Tom Crown, he got it right. Everybody else was full of shit. Okay. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know who was wrong? Rand Nooner. Everything gonna go down. Cryptosaurus. Cryptos are us. Oh man, Bank of Japan, everything's gonna dump. That's who you guys, some of you guys are following. And guess what? Those people that are following those assholes are getting wrecked every single day. By the way, you're getting wrecked too, but at least I'm funny. You know what I mean? We can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? We can't do anything about it. Coinbase challenges U.S. states over regulatory restrictions on prediction markets. So Coinbase has now stepped up to the plate and said Coinbase has now sued. Look at this. Coinbase has now sued Michigan, Illinois, and Connecticut over their scrutiny of prediction markets. Democrat. They want control. You know, again, I'm not in their cult, but I'm not in the other cult either. Okay. Michigan, Illinois, and Connecticut, they want to stop. They want to save you. They want to save you. Meanwhile, buy the Illinois lottery, buy the Michigan lottery, buy the Connecticut lottery, because they don't care. They don't care whether you gamble. They care whether they get paid for your gambling. Just think about that. Don't think about don't think about why they're trying to quote unquote protect you. Think about what the end result is. And the end result is they're not trying to protect you. They're trying to protect their own gravy train. That's what they're doing. So Kathy Woods, in the meantime, has bought more Coinbase. Bought more Coinbase, which means that Kathy Wood thinks that the price is about to go up again. She's betting heavily on crypto one more time. Also, because we got to start moving fast, Ethereum's new upgrade is going to be called Pagoda, and that is a combination of Heze, which is a city in China, and Bogota, which is a city in Colombia. And of course, as you know, all of these Denkun and stuff like that, Denmark and Cancun, they name it after major cities of the world, each one of these upgrades. But there is no headliner EIP yet. It has not been selected, with a February decision planned, as Pagoda remains in early stage. Now, Glamsterdam focuses on layer 1 efficiency and builder decentralization. Developers continue to refine Glamsterdam hard fork. There's a whole bunch of different ones that are going to, of course, get in this big thing, but the best one, the biggest splash is going to be the one that's going to headline the whole thing, and they're going to decide what that headline is going to be as they look into 2026. Guys, what you've seen right now is Ethereum is rapidly becoming an institutional icon, and that's only going to grow over the next little while. If you're trading on Ethereum. Now, why do I say that? Well, if you look at all chain total volume, you do have your DEX volume. You do still have Solana killing the game. Okay, not taking anything away from Solana, but that's a retail shit show. All right, that's what it is. When it's institutional grade, it comes to Ethereum. Now, retail shit show, BSC. Institutional, Base. What do these all have in common? They're all on Ethereum. They're all layer 2 for Ethereum, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Okay? Ethereum is the place where businesses go. So I suspect we're going to see that happen. It's going to continue. Now, as far as the crypto bubbles in the overall market, I mean, look, it looks kind of bad right now because of the dip yesterday, but we're seeing a good sign of what was happening right now in the last little while. I'm going to hit refresh on this just in case here, in case it needs a refresh right there. Yeah, I don't see any big changes right there. So let's move to 200. Yes. I think what I'm going to do, by the way, is I'm going to create a watch list here. I don't like crypto banter, but let me be fair with you guys. I don't like crypto banter because they haven't hired me or brought me on the show to talk about crypto. Like I'll do business with anybody who's trying to, enhance and stuff like that. So I'm going to use this for right now, unless they call me and say, hey, don't use it anymore. Bull market peak indicators, none have been hit. Dev, let's go back to Dev real quick. Question would be of price. Do I think it's going to go up? Do I think it's going to go down? I mean, I would like to see a spike, but the fact that we're getting a spike in the market right now, but we're not getting a spike in Dev means leads me to think that the price is going to go down. Now, also, as you guys know, I am a whale, and in the whale chat, I don't like what some of these guys are saying. Not that they're saying I don't like it and I'm leaving, but that they're arguing with each other. So that's not good. And that usually means price probably going to go down. So I don't know, I don't know exactly, what's going to happen. I think that the team really would like to do something. I think they would really like to get some positivity in there. I think they would really like to get something to break positive in their favor. Because I mean, look, it's good for everybody that's an investor. You know what I mean? Like it would be great for everybody who's an investor. But I mean, going back here to November 1st, it was at almost 45 cents. Now it's at 22 cents. So, it's cut in half over the last month or so, month and a half. And I mean, that's not a great look. That's not a great look. And by the way, a lot of people are mad because all they were told was end of year, end of year, end of year, end of year. And now they're being told, beginning of year. And they're just kicking the can down the road. Now, look, you can like that, you can not like that. The fact is, it is my opinion that maybe that roadmap was not a great idea, because a lot of it got kicked down the road for just a little bit longer because it didn't make sense to complete everything until they get closer to whatever is going to happen. And they talk a good game. Ray is very bullish. I'll tell you guys, I had a conversation with Tom, and I said my piece. I said, Tom, it was probably not a great... most people are probably a little bit annoyed. Junebug, how much to be considered a whale in dev? 100,000. You have to have 100,000 to be considered a whale. But I said to Tom, like, you came in because you were kind of answering the questions from people. You were doing, like, you're the one that's taking the bullet, if you will. You're the guy in chat right now trying to fix everything. And by the way, speaking of fixing everything, I really wanted to do something different here, and I forgot that I was doing it, so I'm going to do it now. Hope you guys don't mind this one. But we're going to make a move here. There we go. That's a little bit easier. All right, like that a little bit better. Okay, so ultimately, what he said was, he's out here taking bullets, and Ray is out here being super bullish, like, oh my God, guys, everything's going to be fine. Like, Ray's talking like everything is just absolutely cool and normal, because for him it is. For Tom, he's taking the bullets because they didn't meet their goals. So Tom comes in to the chat and he's not super bullish. People are starting to get this message like Tom's a little bit annoyed by everything. So then Tom had to issue a statement, which he did in the chat, which I guess I should show you. Let me see if I can find it here. Give me just 1 second here, guys. There we go. All right. Pop this up on the screen here. Right here. Hey everyone, I had someone message me that they were concerned I was not bullish. I think yesterday was a day where I needed to listen to folks' frustrations and concerns and give answers and information that was factual. I tend to answer conservatively, and I feel I need to in order to maintain my own standards. That said, of course I'm bullish. At my point above, I will say there are risks. We are very early stage, and early stage companies always have risks. The balance there, though, is that there is only ever more potential upside when there is higher risk that is innate in business. With that caveat, I think there are a lot of positive things going on. Ray is pushing forward on Dev Digital and Dev Exchange. He's very capable, and everyone is in good hands there, in my view. Our technology still fundamentally solves real and significant problems that need to be solved for a massive upcoming movement into TradFi and DeFi. We submitted our PCT filing for contingent transaction sets, which I think is very significant. We've made significant progress on the overall Dev ecosystem platform, including lending functionality. So basically, finally, to be sure, I'm not going anywhere. DevIO and Dev Digital are different entities, but in speaking for DevIO, we are a runway, and I am capable and experienced enough to be able to grow things from whatever gets thrown our way. We don't have infinite timing, of course, but we will have right now lead time on valuable things. I'm also working on new categories in parallel to Ray's work with Dev Exchange that can bring new life and excitement to things as well, which I will describe in January. So Tom was actually very bullish on what's going on. He just didn't have the throughput at that point to be like, oh yeah, by the way, everything is going to be great. He needed to, it's disingenuous to walk in and say, everything here is the greatest that it's ever been when the price is down. Some people got in at $1. Some people got in at 50 cents. They're looking at it at 22 cents or 25 cents or 30 cents and being like, hey, what's going on here? And things are moving not as fast or as robust as what they would like to see. So you do have to recognize that, he was going through something at that moment. But ultimately, if you watched Ray, then you probably think that this is one of the greatest opportunities right now of a lifetime. I also happen to think that it is. I think that, once, and by the way, I'm not worried about the technology. I'm not worried about all of that. Here's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about, let's get in front of people. Let's get the announcement out of this major partner. Let's see where the pump leads us. Let's take a little profit along the way, and then let's see what happens after that. And I think that everybody was looking to do the same thing. And when you don't get that, you get frustrated, especially because a lot of people have been invested for a very long time. But here's the thing. You're at the finish line. That's really what it comes down to. You're at the finish line. So just strap in because it's getting ready to, it's getting ready to happen. Stefan Crypto says, Lunk. I did Lunk at the very beginning of this. Go back and hit rewind. Go back to the very beginning. The first story of the day was about Terra Luna Classic, Kanav Korea, Jump Crypto Trading, and how they're being sued by the federal government of the United States bankruptcy court system for $4 billion. I love it. I love it because those guys, those are the ones that did it. Those are the ones that helped to contribute to that collapse. And I even explained exactly how they shorted the market and how they did this shady shit. And I even pointed out how Kanav Korea has basically disappeared, except for 3 posts that he's made in a year and a half on Twitter. A Twitter account that he used constantly until the day he resigned without providing a 2 weeks notice. He was stepping down effective immediately from Jump Crypto, and he was into the wind and gone. So anyway, that's it. That's the show, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. By the way, don't forget my wallet's down below. If you want to do a Christmas contribution, that would sure be cool. Other than that, it's not financial advice. I'm always right. I appreciate you guys. The best thing you can do to help me out is to share this content with your friends. Share this with anybody. Talk about me in public spaces. Go to Twitter, on my Twitter account, go watch that video. It's only 3 minutes long, but it's going to be something of the new format that we're going to do. We're going to try to bring a little bit of comedy into crypto. We're going to try to have a little bit of fun with what we're doing. And if you are a Chicago Bears fan, then you can go watch me on the Chicago Bears cast. We have today was like 20-minute video. I haven't been doing a whole lot. I've been doing shorts. Shorts been getting a lot of traction. I'm also going to show you something that, because I don't build outside of YouTube or anything like that, but if you look at my profile here, you'll notice that I'm just Bleaves now. It's no longer Bleaves Crypto. It's just Bleaves. If you look at my TikTok, it's just Bleaves. It's not Bleaves Crypto. And the reason for that is you can see it right here. I'm getting 3,000 or 4,000 views on a lot of these Bears videos. Like people want to talk about the Chicago Bears. They're not really worried about cryptocurrency right now. So I'm pivoting a little bit in open markets. Also, there is I haven't changed this one yet from Bleaves Crypto, but I'm gonna do this. All right. I guess I can show you guys. That's going to be the new brand. I know it's kind of difficult to see right there, but it's Bleaves in Crypto. And then we've got a fitness channel coming, Bleaves in Fitness, Bleaves in Politics, Bleaves in Bears. You know what I mean? Or Bleaves in Football. I don't know. Something like that. But we're going to do some rebranding. You guys are going to see it. I think most of you are going to love it. A lot of you asked me about my fitness journey. How do I, like Bleaves, why are you so goddamn handsome? You know what I mean? How did you get so jacked? How do you look so come on, guys. I put in the work. That's it. I put in the work. And I'm going to tell you exactly on the fitness channel, exactly how I'm doing it, exactly what I'm doing. So if you want to do it as well, you can do it as well. So that's it. That's the show. Thank you so much for tuning in.